Today was the arraignment for a man charged with breaking into the office of this gym 6 months ago. The owners tell me that even if he hadn't been caught on surveillance video, he left an electronic trail. It was almost impossible to miss. Today's hearing was about the evidence in this case and who should have access to it. It comes as the sheriff's office finds more barrels and bottles of that stolen bourbon. The members of Powell County's search and rescue team are used to being called out for missing people. That doesn't mean they won't answer the call for help when a four-legged family member goes missing. Maddie. A record crew was able to haul away that car on a flatbed truck. The state police are having to pick up the rest of that FedEx truck piece by piece. In Rockcastle County, Victor Puente, WKYT. It's been a day with more filings as Kim Davis's attorneys attempt to keep her from being found in contempt of federal court. Today also saw another couple turned away from the clerk's office. Davis and her staff are due in federal court tomorrow. Late this afternoon, her attorneys filed a motion on why she should not be held in contempt. It listed several reasons and even included some alternative options, such as online applications or deputizing a neighboring county clerk to come to Rowan County to issue marriage licenses. Despite a judge's order, she's continued to refuse marriage licenses, including to a couple this morning.
We're not doing marriage license today.
Why?
Because
Why?
I'm not doing marriage license today. We're pending an appeal.
Under what authority?
Going to court tomorrow.
Under what authority? God's authority. I knew you would say that.
Isn't
this
politics?
Robbie Blankenship and Jesse Cruz said they came to Kentucky from Ohio because of family connections to the area.
Our Constitution was founded on faith.
No, this is not. Our country is not founded.
The couple said they'd be back tomorrow after Davis's hearing.
I said when all the states are legalized, we will come to this state to be married, where my parents were married.
Davis could also be in trouble locally. Last week, the Rowan County attorney referred a charge of official misconduct to the Office of Kentucky's Attorney General. In Rowan County, Victor Puente, WKYT. The dogs police say attacked Loretta Stevens had spent the last 3 months at the Boyle County Animal Shelter. The Lincoln County Sheriff says they were released back to their owner just last week. This morning, those dogs got out of their kennel on Tom Hackley Road and went to a nearby home where the woman living there told a neighbor the 7 Presa Canarios attacked her dogs, and when she tried to get them to stop, they turned on her.
She told me when she called that she was half in her door and half out her back door, and that there was a pack of dogs down there and that they had tore her to shreds. Please call 911, that she thought she was dying.
Police helped paramedics get to Stevens, who was taken to UK hospital. She's now in fair condition and told us she was going into surgery for damage to her arm. Deputies and animal control caught 6 of the dogs. The 7th was shot and killed. The dog's owner, Chris Pope, had fought to get them back after they were seized in Boyle County. Court records show he had 12 counts of animal cruelty reduced to 12 counts of mistreatment of a dog. The Danville Advocate Messenger said Boyle County Attorney Richard Campbell said the decision was made because if Pope went to trial and won, he would get the dogs back. Judge Jeffrey Dotson released the dogs last week, a decision the Lincoln County Sheriff isn't happy about.
I do know that they were considered vicious in Boyle County, and like I said before, I don't know why they was released back to him.
Workers at the Boyle County Animal Shelter told me that in the 3 months those dogs were there, they were aggressive to strangers, but they also said they'd gotten better at being around people. The man who put those kennels in for Chris Pope told me that he believed someone had tampered with them to let those dogs out, but the sheriff told me he believed the dogs clawed their way out. He also said he would be pursuing harboring vicious animal charges against Pope. In Lincoln County, Victor Puente, WKYT. The people who called 911 tell me they believe state troopers did everything they could to keep from having to pull the trigger.
Well, I mean, I think I'm lucky to be alive, man, after that, after he pulled that gun on me and stuff.
Wesley Reisner says he was looking for his brother-in-law around 9:30 last night when he came upon Matthew Preston at a campfire in front of this building.
And the next thing I know, he was holding a gun around the side of the truck, and he told me, he said, "Don't you move nowhere."
Reisner ran and got his father-in-law, who called police.
He wasn't right in his mind. You could tell by the way he's acting. He was the state police was trying to talk him down. And
Tolson says they heard a gunshot, and his family took cover behind this building until state police arrived. They say troopers tried to talk Preston into surrendering.
They just kept trying to talk to him, being nice, and, "Hey, bud, we're not here to hurt you." And And then he yelled out, he's like, let's see how gunshot you are. And then there's 3 or 4 more rounds fired. And
That's when police returned fire, hitting the 39-year-old. He was airlifted to UK hospital. Police say his injuries weren't life-threatening. Matthew Preston is charged with 2 counts of attempted murder of a police officer. In Wolfe County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Every time before they was thrown over in the ravine and we would crawl down there and get them.
And it breaks your heart because people call you and say, the crosses are gone.
For the families of Aaron Capps, Whitney Morris, and Kyla Hare, it's been 10 months of fighting to keep their roadside memorial in place.
We put them up, they come up, back down. Put them up, came back down. They've been thrown over in the ravine every time up until the last time.
The 3 died in a crash July 19th. A few days later, their families put 3 crosses on US 68. A few days after that, someone vandalized the memorial.
You would never understand someone else's pain, what they're going through, how they would react, and we're all changed people.
Tired of the added hurt, the families put a camera on those crosses and caught this image of a man pulling one of them out of the ground. They tracked him to his job in Paris, and Kyla's stepdad confronted him. He says the man didn't offer an explanation at first, but later called to apologize.
He said he had a family member killed out here, and it just reminded him of that, and he just didn't like them there.
We called the man, and he said he was sorry, but didn't want to be on camera. Since he's not currently facing any charges, we aren't identifying him. That man told me this was the first time he'd removed those crosses. He says someone else had been throwing them down the hill the past few months. Aaron Capps' mother says even if that is the case, she's holding him responsible for all the hurt this has caused.
And whether he was the unlucky one who got caught or not, to me, I blame him for all of them.
Really, we kind of assumed that it may have been someone of a younger community, definitely not someone of his age.
He has called me since and apologized, and to the whole family. I just told him to show his face. If he really wanted to apologize to everybody.
In Nicholas County, Victor Puente, WKYT. It's been a day since Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis was released from jail. Her attorneys said she would wait a few more days before returning to work. Her supporters didn't waste any time in changing their focus from freeing Davis to targeting her deputy clerks. Those protesters say Davis's deputies are the ones breaking the law.
These people should be fired in here today who are breaking Kentucky law and who are going against the will of 75% of the voters here.
This morning, Deputy Clerk Brian Mason finalized the marriage license of a couple from San Francisco. He told reporters that while Davis was jailed, her office issued 10 licenses, 7 to same-sex couples. He told that couple once Davis returned, he would continue to issue those licenses, even if Davis instructed him not to. One of those men, Mark Schraber, said he and his husband had been welcomed in Moorhead.
They're wonderful, and it seems like a lot of people are a little embarrassed about this whole situation.
That included Dwayne Barnett, who came to the clerk's office on other business, who told one protester to, quote, get a life.
The gays and lesbians, why shouldn't they be allowed the same misery that I have in my marriage that they should be allowed to get?
Her attorneys released this photo earlier today of Davis going through fan mail she received while in jail. They say she's returning to work on Monday. Unlike the last few weeks, there were no protesters from the other side of the issue out here today. They said they didn't plan on returning unless Davis orders her office to stop issuing licenses, which they expect will happen.
Judge Bunning has already issued that there will be sanctions if she continues to refuse.
Part of that order from Judge Bunning includes status updates every 2 weeks on her deputy clerks to make sure they're still issuing those licenses. In Rowan County, Victor Puente, WKYT.